So full disclosure, I did get Klicky working. It was probably one of the dumbest things ever. For whatever reason, the Klicky GitHub was an old version that popped up on Google that I clicked on. And when I went back to research it, I found exactly what I was missing. Anyway, it's actually really simple. You don't need all the extra things to make this end stop actually work as the Z for you. And it's quite straightforward. So I'm gonna walk you through that right now. Okay, so we are printing. This is probably like the crappiest print I've ever done. Now, again, this is like my first time in 15 years actually printing with PLA. So give me some grace, guys. Give me some grace. Now let's talk about the probe itself. We need to actually start somewhere else, and we need to start it on the desktop. So we're gonna go do that right now. Okay, so before we get too crazy, I just want to make you guys abundantly aware, this isn't like a how-to guide. I'm just showing you what I did to make it work. All my Klicky stuff is just kind of scattered all over because for whatever reason, it's not as cool as camp and doesn't let me have a folder no matter what I do. But first thing you want to do is actually go into your printer CFG, and you want to make sure we have some includes here. So I just did the folders and they work fine. And anyway, we're gonna scroll down. So the first thing we need to do is tell the Z access, right? So end stop pin, probe, Z, virtual end stop right here. Super simple, okay? And then we want to add the probe section. We're gonna comment it out Z offset because we're gonna change that later. Make sure your Klicky Servo information is in there and that works and the right pins and all that. My pins will probably be different than yours, but that's okay. And then save Z home, get rid of that crap. We don't need it because under Klicky variables.cfg, we're going to do some things. So these files are going to be available on my GitHub, and a link to that is in the description below. You're probably going to have to be logged into GitHub for that to work, but simple things. So the reason mine wasn't working was I didn't have this stuff here that's highlighted for whatever reason, and some of the stuff down here was incorrect as well. I could probably delete that line out of there and just save it for later. And anyway, Klicky probe. You want to make sure you have the variables and the macros and all that. And the macros, I set variable probe Z home to true, and it just worked. So that's a cool thing. So when I G28 now, it actually works. Now I probably have the world's crappiest macro, just regular macros for my print start. It's quite terrible. It's right here. So M117 tells it what it's doing. So the screen message says calibrating, G90, set absolute position, G28. So within that G28 command, it's actually going to home X, home Y. It's going to grab the probe from the servo. It's going to home Z and then put it back. So pretty sexy. Then it's going to do the Voron purge and then print. So pretty cool, actually. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, this is probably like the crappiest start. I don't have any protections or anything for heating up. Like I have to manually heat this thing up, and I don't really like that. I'm getting really bored or old, I guess. I don't know. I used to like it, but I don't anymore. And these are my LEDs from earlier, guys, if you're looking at it to try to help me figure out why the heck I just have one that is purple. I don't know. It's probably just a bad LED. Not a big deal. Can swap that out later. But there we have that. Now let's get off the desktop and back to the printer. So we're printing a flow test. It is really, really slow. I mean, I can print it twice as fast on my 2.4, and I don't understand why it's so slow. I'm gonna have to figure it out. There's gotta be some protection or some garbage in there that's making it go so slow. I don't know, maybe I don't have enough amperage. I don't think that's the issue, but it's consistent. So we're gonna have to check some things out, and I'm obviously gonna need to adjust the bed stuff because it is having some issues in this corner, but you know, it is what it is. I just wanna get an idea for basic flow on here to see, you know, what we can push it at. For me personally, I feel like flow is more rated by temperature than anything, but it is what it is, and we're gonna determine it, but there are some things that need to be done and filament wasted, and that's okay, but I want this thing to scream, so we're gonna have to crank up some things, some speed and stuff, and check some things out and see what we need to do. The biggest thing that needs to happen, obviously, before we really crank up the speed is getting that other fan working. Like I said, I don't know if it's the fan is just dead or, you know, came unsoldered behind a sticker and stuff on the fan, or if it doesn't have good contact, but When I was looking at the contacts, they're quite secure on the back of the EVB, so when one fan comes on, the other should. It could quite possibly be that it's just a bad solder connection and we need to repair that. Or simply just replace the entire fan. I do have extras, so that's okay. Anyway, stay tuned. The next part we're gonna go into is making this thing faster and tuning it at those speeds to see what it's capable of. I'm pretty excited to find that out. So stay tuned, guys, and like and subscribe.